Yeah, I'm out here in Iowa, so I think I'm a couple hours ahead of you if you're in Vegas.
Oh yeah, I'm actually California now.
Oh, California. So are you
Yes.
what was that? Western time? Was it
Yeah.
1:30 there?
Yeah, 1:30 here. What time is it for you?
3:30.
Okay, it's 2 hours at CST.
Yeah.
Nice, man. But what you got going on in the real estate stuff? Like, what do you do?
Yeah, so I'm a real estate agent, then have a couple flips going on. Actually, two flips, and then I'm rehabbing a duplex out here right now. So it's one of the sides they're actually gonna stay, and I just upped the rent like $250, and then the other side they're planning on leaving, which I just found out they're like I think they have a warrant out for their arrest too, so I
Oh,
won't be too bad getting rid of them. I
that's
just like
crazy.
I took over the tenants, so I had no idea what I was getting myself into. Um, so yeah, that's what I got going, and then I'm an agent and just out there looking and trying to find more property. But
Nice, dude. What are you looking to do now? Like, I guess what are you doing to find deals or anything that you need help with, questions? This is your time.
for sure, I appreciate that. So I like probably over the last like 2 years, I've went from being a college kid just like curious about real estate to now doing like 30, 40 deals as an agent and trying to do like more stuff off market with direct to seller, cold calling, doing a little mailers, that kind of stuff. And I guess I'm just trying to completely like relearn and like try to learn how to scale, and not just be like the one man hustler, because
Mhm.
that's pretty much what I've been doing ever since I was, I don't know, 18 in car sales, like just working weekends and stuff. And it's a completely different game. So I don't
But
know if you
but
have like
skill
yeah,
what? Like your realtor business or your investing?
investing, like wholesale flips, that kind of
Okay.
stuff. Because I don't really see like, even if I wholesale like scale a realtor business, I'm still like I gotta be face of it.
Yeah, that's true. Well, right now, what are you doing to look for deals?
Right now I'm doing letters through like Envelo is the main service I'm using to send out letters. And then I just hired my first VA about 2 months ago to just, cold call through lists pretty much and set appointments. And then I have one kind of like admin marketing gal that is doing like my social media and kind of like odds and ends tasks. So
Gotcha. Okay, and so for the letters, these are just letters to homeowners for wanting to sell their house. Like, how many do you send?
probably right now I'm starting to build it up, which I just need to do more of it. I've probably only sent like $3,000 or $4,000 worth of letters. And then last this month I probably have like $300 or $400 of active marketing going on with letters.
Is that like 50 cents each?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so that's pretty new. Like, what made you choose that? Because letters are actually a more expensive option for direct to
Yeah.
seller marketing.
I don't know. My boss has had some like good success with it in the past, like, and he's only implemented it kind of here and there. And I sent out a couple batches, and like people started calling right away. So I was like, all right, let's do it.
Okay, so you've done this for how long? The letters?
Since the like beginning of the year.
Oh shoot. Okay, so that's actually some time, some 8 months. How many has it brought deals or leads? Like how many of each? I guess.
Yeah, I've had like 3 deals from letters, 3 or 4 deals, and it's probably brought in like somewhere around 80 to 100K worth of revenue.
These are real estate like wholesales.
Like quick flips, like
Okay.
wholesales or yeah, flips.
Nice. No, that's awesome, man. I think that's phenomenal. Um, if okay, so you're doing two different things right now. You're doing the letter marketing and you're doing cold calls with the VA. How's the VA thing doing? Is that's newer?
Yeah, it's 2 months that he started. So August, right before I started Ryan's group, I was like, let's hire this dude. Let's see
Yeah.
what happens. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'll learn by trial and error. Um, and he's been doing okay. I think it's like just time in the system too. He's got me a few leads, like 2 appointments, but okay.
Okay. Well, let's talk about, I guess, the numbers on those, like the dialer report numbers. So, do you know how much is that person calling per
Yeah,
day,
he's
per week?
calling about 4.5, 5 hours a day on the dialer, and then he has some follow-up calls,
Oh, so he's doing your
which are
lead. Yeah,
probably,
that's cool. He's doing your lead
yeah.
management, or yeah, lead management too.
And then on the triple line dialer, which I don't know if this is accurate, like good numbers or not, he's calling about 350 to 400 people
In four
a
to five
day.
hours,
Yeah,
that would need to be higher for sure.
is
Because
that way low?
that's really low. Because you did when you cold did you cold call yourself too?
Yeah.
Did you use triple line or did you go like hand up?
When I did triple line, I was doing like I could rip out like 80 people in 30 minutes.
Yeah, yeah, that's not enough. Because like wait, 80. That's not contacts, right? That's like dials, right?
Yeah, dials. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds better. Because for me, I know that yeah, that's different. Like in every hour, if I'm even dialing myself, I probably with a triple line dialer call about 500 to 600 dials. So if
An hour.
yeah, an hour. So if they're calling, what did you say, 450?
Here, I'll just pull up the numbers on Mojo.
Yeah, that means they're slacking, and so that's the hard. If you hire a VA directly, it's a lot of checking in on them, being on top of them. Um, there's also like this like remote software where you can see their screen. So you
Hmm.
can see like if they're just leaving their dialer on and just not doing any work. Um, but yeah, let's look at that data because I'm kind of curious. Because
Yes, this.
with the triple line, they should be calling 450 an hour, not 450 for the 4 to 5 hours.
Can I share my screen on it? Yeah.
I think so. Does it work?
Yeah, it's thinking.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, here's what he did yesterday.
Okay. So let's look at this. So 437 calls made. Where is and it says for 4 hours. Do not call contacts, bad numbers, disconnected. Yeah, he's just not calling enough. So, is there? Oh, so you have the calls, right? All the calls below, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Are there the timestamps on them? On the right side. So look at those
Yeah.
timestamps and just look through and see like if there's a lot of dead space between the hours that he's actually making those dials. There's a good chance there are.
Yeah, like right here between 7 and 5, he
Yeah.
just went
Like
off
where
the
did you
rails.
go for 2 hours but the dialer stayed on working? So that's what happens when we get VAs, man, is like there's got to be some kind of management on them, and it's hard. Um, I'd probably talk to him every day too, like in the morning before they start calling, or hype them
Uh-huh.
up, get them ready, and then making performance a big thing of like, here's the expectation. So they might not be as good as you in terms of making 500 an hour, whatever it is, but it shouldn't be 500 for 4 hours because if that's just a sign that they're not calling. And there might even be something in there. You use Mojo. There might be another report that shows like actual time. Maybe I don't know. Might have to call your tech support, but
Hmm.
that should show you enough too. That you can see it, right?
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, that's the big thing, man. With these VAs is if you're hiring direct, it's just managing them. Because cold calls they're boring. So I mean, a lot of people
Yeah.
will slack, and that's normal. So that's good. Like once you see that, and it's just paying attention to data. I would look at that data daily and weekly, and talk to him daily, even if it's for a little bit, every single day
Yeah.
or every day that he calls. Uh,
Because do you have any like virtual assistants in your
I
business?
used to. I dropped like a lot, all of them this past year, where it was rough, man, for these flips because I didn't do a lot of wholesales last year. It was all flips. I did doing
Hmm.
flipping for 5 years, and last year was rough for me and for a lot of other investors with market shifting. And so right now it is just me, and it's okay because like it's cool because I'm making a lot of content out of it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, going through that past year, it was rough because it was like, man, I've been doing this successfully and well for 5 years, and taking a hit. It was like a hit to the ego. But
Hmm.
now it's just pushing back and building it back up, which is normal. But yeah, I used to have two consistent VAs for years for the cold calling, and then one for the lead manager. So it would go from the VA bringing in the lead. They'd each call about 1,800 dials every single day, pull 1 to 2 leads from that each. And actually, looking back, they probably should have been calling more because I'd probably call 3,000 in that time range. But they'd pull 1 to 2 lead each every single day. Um, the leads would go to the lead manager, and they would just see if they're actually a lead, and then warm them up. If not, call them every month, every couple of weeks. And then as they got
Yeah.
like hot or warmish, they'd send to me, and then it would be my follow up, and I'd be the one closing on phone or in person. So like that's how I did it. Um,
Gotcha.
but now it's just me. we're
Hmm.
we're leaning out.
Yeah. Getting rid of the fat.
Yeah, and that's the funny thing that I see that happen with actually now that I think of it, when I hear a lot of the people who've been in this business long, like I've seen their team shift a lot. Like people have gone big, and a lot of them that have gone
Hmm.
big have like shrunk to like because it was more optimal for them in their life. And it's just interesting how business works. There's cycles to it. But yeah, what other things that I mean, I think that was a big, hopefully an eye opener, just them
Yeah.
not working. Uh, I'm happy you saw that after 2 months and not 10.
Yeah. No, after 10 months.
Yeah.
Because, like, it looked, I don't know, it seemed low to me, but I was like, I don't know, maybe it's not.
Yeah, I mean, I want just think of anyone that you hire. Yeah, probably not going to do as good as you at first, but at least expect 80%, not a
Yeah,
quarter.
exactly. Um, yeah, what else? Like, I've been trying to look more into, like, systems and
Yeah.
processes and SBOs. Maybe that's just, like, I don't know, business jargon that I'm looking into right now, but are there, like, actually, like, applicational steps I should be doing in this type of business if that's, like, setting up a process for like transaction coordination or like how to delegate, how to do this rehab once a project gets closed, like things like that. Do I need to be setting up like checklists for that kind of stuff? Because right now it's just all on Sam's head.
Oh, I would write stuff down, especially when you're thinking about hiring someone. So maybe the point where you're like, I'm being overwhelmed with all this work. What do I not want to do anymore?
Hmm.
Just start like documenting your stuff, whether it's you recording a screen recording of like, here's what we do after the flips. We take it off these utilities, we call these places, we do whatever, and like here's document whether it's paper or a video, and then I think that'll get you ready to hire that position out. But everyone
Okay.
hires something different because everyone likes something different. Some people want to keep on to
Yeah.
sales or something.
Because I'm fine like doing sales. Like that's probably where I thrive at the
Yeah,
best right now, like in the business as a whole. Um, but like the marketing or the transaction coordination or the delegation of the repairs, setting up the utilities, like all that kind of stuff can be moved out. So then it just frees up my plate. Because if I can spend all of my days going to appointments, which are 1,000 to 5,000 an hour dollar task, that's going to be able to, someone else can do the $15 task of setting up the
yeah. I mean,
utilities.
there's a lot of transaction coordinators specifically for real estate investing deals. A friend of mine actually does that. She does well because they flip themselves and they do deals themselves. But I don't know if they accept outside of Vegas. But you can find someone. I guarantee you'll find someone if you just reach out to
Hmm.
your TC friends or your investor friends. A lot of them will pay like a flat fee per project, so like $1,500 or whatever it is. Um, and it just saves all the time that you'd have to do this stuff. You obviously have to train them if they're not trained or they don't know what to
Yeah.
do, but that could save time so all your time's on appointments. So that could be a system that you document is like, what do you actually do for managing the transaction process? And whether that's
Yeah.
managing the project managers for the contractors or just, calling utilities, lockbox, showing end buyers if you're wholesaling, like all these different things. It's just
Hmm.
documenting it. So yeah, I think, is that the thing that you probably hire out next?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, I need to put all this on paper. I don't know what like I haven't. I need to do probably a little more research, unless you know, Justin, on like a good website or process to start actually recording these systems and processes.
I mean, nah,
Um,
just
if that's like a Google sheet and an Excel file, like keep it
for
simple.
me, every time I've recorded an actual process that someone has learned best from, it's been a video. Like, because
Has
I
it?
speak and I can speak and I can talk to my camera as I screen record. I'm like, here's the exact button you press when we're doing this. Here's how we do this. When you cold call and you submit a lead, you click this, and then you enter this information so that I get it. And then it's also just explaining the
Mhm.
why behind all of it. Because if you don't explain the why,
Yeah.
they're not going to remember. Like if you say just do XYZ, but it's XYZ because of this, and this is why it's important.
Yeah. Yeah, because I tried you. Are you familiar with Tango at all?
No.
Tango's kind of cool because it kind of does that to an extent where like it like guides yourself on the computer to like, hey, you can go click on this and click on this tab and then type in. It's kind of similar to a video, but it's not as like you have to like type everything out. Whereas video, you're
Yeah.
just like right in front of the camera.
Yeah.
Might be
Yeah, it'll
simpler.
be easier for
You can just
you. And
record.
people will understand this generally the same too.
Yeah. In video, I feel like is maybe probably a little easier to understand than Tangos
Yes. Like all my
because that's just a whole other thing for someone to learn.
yeah, all my systems and processes have just been video. Because think about it, you could be written to or typed out, but when you get a big stack of instructions on how to do it, it's like, is it really that helpful when you have to go one by one, or it's like kind of tiresome, right? Like no one
Yeah.
likes to do that. I know I'd rather watch just a video, like what are the steps and why.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so
Awesome.
that's helped me a lot, whether it's training VAs, project managers, boots on the ground, or content people. Yeah, that's definitely helped.
Go. Yeah, that's kind of where my business is at right now. I got a couple of those flips going on. I actually got oh, one of the flips I think I'm just gonna wholesale.
Nice.
Um, and then most of my deals I've been looking at and actually trying to track more because I wasn't really tracking anything. Just like still I'm not really tracking much, but the data is finally going into the KPI
There we
tracker
go.
finally. Um, but I was kind of just throwing mud at the wall and it was sticking because I have like good connections with agent referrals and stuff. So it's nice to finally actually see like, hey, this is looking like more of a business than just say I'm out there hustling and getting shit
Yeah,
done.
no, I like that. I mean, it looks like you got a good grasp on those letters so far. If you just keep doing what you're doing there, and then the new thing to track is just the dialer stuff. Um, in your Mojo, it should have the general report of how many dials are made for the day, for the week, how many contacts, how many
Hmm.
were submitted as appointment or submitted as not interested. Um, Hopefully, if they don't have it where it's like all compiled, where there's also how many were a lead, because a lot of them don't include that. You have to make a separate spreadsheet on that. You want to be able to see, hey,
Yeah.
like for this many dials, we usually get this many leads a day, like 3 leads a day. If we're calling 3,000 people, or if we call 1,800, we might
Yeah.
get 1 lead, 2 lead, just so that they have an expectation, and so you can say, hey, like, you didn't bring anything in. Like maybe it's either, and that's when you don't blame people, but you look at the reasons. Like, okay, like how many dials did you make? Okay, you did your work.
Hmm.
Let's listen to the conversation. So you spoke pretty well. You didn't just tell everyone to f off. And then it's like, oh, maybe it's my data. Maybe it's because I don't have enough phone numbers for you to call from. They're all being marked as spam. So there's different
Yeah,
components.
for sure.
I've actually, and you laughed when I said they didn't just tell people to F off. I've had that. I was like, I listened to
Me too.
calls. I was like, what are you saying? Like, why are you so mean?
Like the VA was telling people to F
Yeah, I
off.
was like,
Oh my
dude.
goodness,
I
that's
was like, I gotta let
crazy.
you go.
Yeah, yeah, see it, man. I thought you were meaning like people, the leads he was calling
No,
were telling him to F off.
no. It was like if the seller
Wow.
or the lead prospect gave him some kind of meanness, they'd like push back and be meaner. I was like, oh my
Oh
gosh.
my god.
Yeah, yeah, it was
Reverse.
weird.
Just imagine that having a random guy call you and then
Just
start
being
cussing
mean to
your
you, I'm
ass
like,
out.
whoa, that's crazy.
That's funny.
But yeah,
That's funny. How's your things going out in Vegas? You got any projects you're
no,
working
well,
on?
I actually just offloaded all my flips, so I was 3 ongoing. They all sold. Now I'm actually looking to wholesale more. I don't really want to flip in this market, and doing in the Fresno, California market. It's just things are still
Hmm.
slower in terms of sitting on market longer, people buying for less, and it's just not optimal for me flipping. So I'm just trying to wholesale now,
Yeah.
and then pushing content hard. So like everything I do now, it's actually been interesting. Everything I do is pretty much gonna be content, whether it's these calls right here. Most of the time when I'm on call, these are live, but this one's not live on YouTube just because I had stuff uploading and then it becomes blurry on YouTube if I am. But I'm just
Yeah.
pulling content clips out of everything because that's always been my long term thing. I was like, I like that stuff. Do you make content at all? I didn't know if I see your stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is your thing?
I have. Still do. I've been trying to post once a day. Like my goal for the last like 4 months was just post once a day, get consistent on that, and then start getting better on the
Nice. Oh,
quality.
you know Ethan? He's in Iowa too.
Yeah,
Monte.
Ethan
Yeah, he's a cool
Monte.
dude.
Yeah, I've met with him before.
Heck yeah. No, I see your content. Yeah, no, content's awesome, man. Like a lot of my deals actually before would come from content because all my content
Really?
was revolved around teaching wholesalers, and
Uh-huh.
just because of that, people in my area, actually even outside of my area, started reaching out. They're like, "Hey, I got this deal. I don't know how to do it on my own. Do you want to partner? We'll go 50-50 or something." And I was like, "Yeah, like I'll
Hmm.
wholesale. I'll just tell you what to do, and then we'll still get because they want to learn. They don't care about the money yet."
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I think content's crucial. It's one of those things that continue to be motivated because, like, I've had the reason, like, I have like 10,000 followers on TikTok, and the only reason I got that is because I'm like two really big, like viral
Nice.
videos, and then the rest are like three,
Yeah.
four, 500, a couple thousand views. You know how it goes, and it's like at the end of the day, even if three, 400 people watch your video, it's more than that. If you wouldn't have posted
Yeah.
at all.
No, dude,
So
I always tell people like everyone's worried about not being seen. It's like who cares? If you had 20 views, that's you speaking to a room of 20 people. Like you'd be overwhelmed if 20 people
yeah,
were in front of you right now and you're talking like but that's 20 people listening to you. So
yeah,
imagine 100. You know?
for sure. Yeah, that's a good point. It's definitely like now for the next couple of years is going to be like a big. I think social media is continue going to grow a lot,
Yeah.
but
You
you probably know more about it than I
I mean,
know.
yeah, I'm involved in this stuff a lot, but I always like to learn more. You know what's been helpful recently? YouTube Shorts have been popping off much better than Instagram and TikTok, and it wasn't like that before. It's been actually kind of interesting for me,
Hmm.
because I've actually felt and seen the algorithms switch up on me, like throughout the years. Like I made me wish I posted more on Instagram before, because now the algorithm's a
Yeah,
lot like TikTok, which is it's technically a good thing because it promotes good content but before, I was able to just post on Instagram all my reels, even if they're pretty mediocre and bad, and still get consistently four to
yeah.
5,000 views on all of them. And I wish I posted like
Wow.
a ton back in the day, but now I'm feeling that with YouTube Shorts. So I'm like, I'm just gonna step on the gas when I can.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, man. But um, I mean, what else? What else are you curious about or just want to chat about?
Um, like I don't know. What's your story? How'd you get started? Where'd you
Yeah,
come from? Where you want to
yeah. I mean,
go? That type of
I
thing.
uh, I started actually 5 years ago when I bought the first rental, and I didn't know that until today because memories pop up on Instagram and stuff, and there was one I was like, hey,
Yeah.
see yourself in 2017. And I was like, all right, like click this, and I was like, whoa, like that's one of my first rental. I listed it for rent, and I was like, this is crazy. But I was in college, man. I was a senior in college at the time, and I was a finance major, full-time student, working pretty much full-time with a couple minimum wage jobs, personal training on the side, and I was just saving up, like super frugal, going out with friends and not ordering anything and just hanging out, like doing that forever, and
Mhm.
that's how I saved up for the
Yeah.
first one. And after I used my own money with conventional loan for the first rental, I was like, how do I do this again without waiting so long? Because I was like, I guess I just wait and save up
Mhm.
more and get the next one. Came across my first mentor who I pretty much ran his house flipping business for him. So I do the lead generation and I do the project management, like actually bring the contractors out, get bids, I actually did close the deals, as he trusted me, but I would start to close the deals. And that's when I was like, whoa, like, okay, he was doing flips. This is how you do real estate investing consistently.
Mhm.
And then I branched out on my own 6 months later. Um, and then I just started hustling, doing cold calling, all that stuff. And then over time, my marketing strategies definitely have shifted. Like over the last 3 years, most of my strategy has been MLS and relationships with
Really.
realtors and wholesalers because I bought a lot, so I could get deals from wholesalers.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, that was like, and social media. Social media was like a third of my deals. It was the weirdest experience because like this is how I can get deals. But when I felt the downturn the past year, it made me really want to push back in all my off market marketing because I was like, when all the bad stuff happened, like I wanted the marketing to stay consistent, and I realized that like the people that were still head above water were the non-flippers, the people who either maybe wholetailed, um, did creative financing, but they were not the flippers, and I was flipping.
Mhm.
Um, and so like it made me really like pause and slow down and rethink of like, what do I need to do? What do I want to do so that I can survive the next recession better?
Yeah.
So
I think that's such a benefit for me being in the Midwest because, like, not every flip, but almost, well, probably every deal I've done so far that's a wholesale or a flip or a wholesale, like, if really shit gets bad, and I have to hang on to that property, like, I could rent it back out
yeah,
and break
yeah,
even. Like, that's always worst case scenario in our market, usually, or I'd lose a couple $100 a month, but, like, that's not going to kill me. Whereas, like, in Vegas, I bet, like, you have 500,
yeah,
$600,000 flip
they're
going
different.
on. You put a tenant in there, you're only making 22, 2,500. You're losing a couple thousand a
Yeah,
month
so essentially
probably.
it's like that's exactly how it feels, and we're like, we gotta wait till it sells. Like and paying
Yeah,
private money lenders back on all these losses. We're like, hey, like you'll get paid, and luckily, fortunately, I was able to figure out a way to scramble, get everyone paid back what they were owed. But that was rough, dude. It made me realize like those certain price points too, when um those closer to median price point, lower price points are like they're solid. So it just made me realize like I like the
yeah,
safe bets because they can weather the storms. So like
yeah.
it's stuff that you don't even think about until you get hurt. Then you're like, okay, this
Mhm.
matters. The type of market I'm in.
Yeah. What does it look like for your agent outreach and stuff? Because I'm an agent right now, but I'm curious. Like, I only talk to agents when I'm working deals with
Yeah.
them or they're in my office. Like, what do
Well,
you do
so
for
my
that?
agent outreach was mainly just the people that had listings on MLS. I'd first make the offer on the listing,
Hmm.
and if not, I always just let them know, hey, if you ever find anything, if you have anything else right now, I'm open. I, you, I'd be happy to let you represent me. If you found some stuff, I'm always buying. Here's my criteria, and then it just became follow up every single month. It just checking in with them, and when you check in with enough people, like people start sending deals. So that's what I've done.
Yeah,
I've heard of a lot of other people just like buying list of agents, buying like a list of 5,000 agents and doing text campaigns on them, asking them, hey, like you got any deals for investor? Here's my criteria, and like doing a little drip system for like 3 texts or so. and a lot of them would get pocket listings from that. But that's not something I've done. Most of my agent outreach has just
Hmm.
been on MLS, asking for or making offers.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, because the agency I'm in right now is probably the biggest one in Ames. I don't know if you're familiar with college football, but Iowa State Cyclones is where Ames is at, like college town. So it's been a nice little, like, I have barely even done any outreach besides like walking through the office and saying, "Oh, hey Sherry, what do you got coming
Yeah.
up next month?" And then she's like, "Oh, I got this duplex." I'm like, "Okay, tap the brakes, turn around, then talk about it." Like that's been
Yeah.
my agent outreach, is like talking around the water cooler at the Remax office. So it's definitely something I could get better
Yeah,
at
and it's
too.
just something if you want to, like you already have something good going on with the off market stuff, so it might just be stepping on the gas there. Um,
Yeah,
and then over time, like yeah, it's good to have multiple. So maybe yeah, then reach out to more agents, but like one strategy at a time to perfect.
gotcha.
But cool. Yeah, man. I'm
Cool.
happy. I'm happy we got a chat too. How long you actually been in the program? I haven't. I don't think we've met.
I've only been in the program for like a month and
Oh,
a
cool.
couple weeks, like beginning of September.
How
Yeah,
you?
I was out at WildCon
Nice,
though, but
nice. Well, happy to have you, man. I know I reached out pretty randomly. I think, uh, but
yeah,
I
no worries.
hoping it was helpful.
Yeah, for sure. I like doing this kind of stuff, and maybe we do another one in six
Heck
months.
yeah.
Check in type of call. But yeah, I actually met another student in Vegas, and I think we're gonna do some co-marketing
Oh,
together. So
sweet.
the group's been nice just for the networking
Yeah. No,
stuff.
keep talking to people. The networking's crazy. Like you can get whatever you want. I've raised money from students. Students have
Yeah.
raised money from me. Like it's crazy. Just you can.
That's what I did on my Mojo. I just put in a line of all the All-Star students and just started down on the single line dialer
Yeah,
one
I
to the
love
next.
that. I love that. Hey, like just introduce myself, whatever you need.
Yeah, yeah,
No, that's
exactly.
smart. Very smart,
But
dude. But yeah, man, hopefully
awesome.
we get a chat another time. And if you ever need anything, let me know. Just let me know as well.
Will do. Thanks, Justin. Well, you
You
have a good
too.
rest
All
of
right.
your day,
See you,
man.
Sam.
See ya.